Well, the Drug Enforcement Administration has a new tool in its fight against one of Mexico's most notorious cartels.
Well, the agency says its new lab in Atlanta is streamlining their investigations and giving them an edge against drug traffickers.
Behind Georgia's quiet farmland scenery, federal investigators uncovered a hidden truth: more than $500 million connected to a secret criminal network. The discovery shattered the peaceful image and exposed an operation quietly growing in the shadows. In that moment, justice finally caught up to a group that believed their secrets would last forever. The neighborhood suddenly shifted from calm to intense action. Sirens echoed, armored vehicles moved in, and streets were sealed. No one entered or left. Federal teams, including national intelligence units, operated with precision. This wasn't a routine enforcement action. It marked the start of a larger, carefully organized nationwide mission. Inside the home, the scene showed the scale of the operation. The kitchen table was stacked with illegal packages tightly wrapped. Powder was scattered across the floor like dust. The room carried a sharp scent from chemicals and machinery. Officers moved through the dim light carefully. Then one agent called out from another room, and what they found next stunned everyone. Lined against the wall were 26 dangerous weapons, combat-style rifles, polished handguns, and even a military-grade launcher hidden under a workbench. This wasn't a casual stash. It resembled a full tactical stockpile. Every corner signaled preparation and risk. On a nearby desk, pieces of paper showed coded notes, strange numbers, and hidden transactions. Mapped routes pointed from across the border directly into Georgia, proving this home was not a small-time spot. It was a strategic command center disguised as a residence. This operation wasn't about local street-level sales. It was a highly organized system preparing for something far bigger. It became clear, authorities were not facing a minor group. They were confronting a structured network operating like a hidden force. Every encrypted call, every secret transfer, and every coded message led to one name: Ketor. A figure rarely spoken aloud, known but never captured. Ketor operated quietly, gaining influence over the years not from outside the country, but from within American communities. Wiretaps uncovered a stunning truth: the organization wasn't hiding in remote locations. It blended into everyday life. Homes looked like ordinary houses. Couriers looked like everyday delivery drivers. Funds moved through businesses that appeared legitimate. They operated in plain sight, unnoticed by the public. Without anyone realizing it, a powerful underground network had built itself into American society, waiting, expanding, and believing no one would ever uncover their presence. Just blocks away from the University of Georgia, undercover couriers blended into the crowd, exchanging small packages under bright streetlights. Students walked past, families greeted one another, and professors parked nearby, unaware that individuals involved in illegal activity were acting like everyday community members. The turning point came fast. One tactical entry grew into a full-scale coordinated sweep. 13 federal and state agencies executed 12 synchronized operations across Athens, Atlanta, and Jefferson. Teams moved with precision, entering each location in seconds. There were no warnings and no time to escape. The results confirmed every fear. This network was larger, stronger, and far more organized than anyone anticipated. Quiet communities had unknowingly become part of a silent conflict that had been building beneath the surface. Before sunrise, agents moved through Georgia's streets with strategy and silence. At first glance, the mission looked like a standard drug enforcement action, but it was far from routine. Inside one building, officers uncovered detailed financial records documenting close to $1 million. Across another location, abandoned devices continued ringing, with calls coming from international contacts attempting to warn their associates. This wasn't simple crime. It represented an outside criminal influence attempting to operate like a military-style force inside the U.S. A large quantity of illegal substances was seized, enough to harm countless lives. Millions of dangerous doses would never reach the public. When daylight arrived, the scene reflected the aftermath of a covert struggle, not a peaceful night. Armored escorts carried seized evidence, illegal substances, weapons, and unexpected gold, along Interstate 85. These convoys illustrated how deeply this operation had embedded itself in local communities. From above, the state looked calm, but investigators understood the magnitude. This was not ordinary criminal behavior. Inside a temporary command center, glowing digital maps tracked routes, safe houses, and financial flows moving across borders. The amounts involved were staggering: counterfeit pills by the hundreds of thousands, large amounts of powdered product, and millions in gold bars used to disguise profits. Front businesses disguised as tire shops, markets, and laundromats served dual purposes, appearing legitimate while quietly generating illicit revenue. Authorities followed the trail and uncovered a troubling truth. This network wasn't only distributing illegal substances. It had begun to influence parts of the local economy. Even more concerning, coded messages on seized phones matched language used in classified federal operations, raising alarms that sensitive information may have been compromised. Investigators discovered that someone inside the cartel had access to sensitive law enforcement information, names, schedules, and operational strategies. The parallels were too close to ignore. It suggested there was a leak feeding the enemy. As news spread locally, fear took hold. Parents worried about universities near trafficking activity. Trust in public safety eroded. This wasn't just about drugs anymore, it was about security and order. Many arrested had prior convictions for large-scale trafficking. Even after early releases, they quickly returned to crime. The cartel appeared nearly indestructible. Taking down one cell only revealed another. At the FBI command center, celebrations were tempered by new evidence. Devices seized revealed that Georgia was just one piece of a much larger international network, involved in money, weapons, and drug trafficking. This was not a single case, it was an ongoing war of infiltration and corruption. The cartel had adapted. Cyber forensics revealed encrypted transactions, cryptocurrency wallets, and offshore accounts connecting multiple states. Digital heat maps highlighted warehouses, safe houses, and unregistered vehicles. They had moved underground, using encryption and deception to continue their operations. Messages indicated a delayed shipment for Phase 2 and a rerouted convoy carrying highly valuable fentanyl. Task force commanders mobilized immediately. Drones took flight over foggy country roads while tactical teams moved in low-profile SUVs. Tension built as every agent prepared for the operation. Thermal cameras scanned forests and back roads. Analysts observed a convoy of trucks hiding under dense tree cover, engines recently turned off. If these trucks reached the interstate, the dangerous cargo would spread nationwide. Roadblocks were set with military precision. When the interception command was given, the trucks attempted escape. One surrendered quickly, the other resisted, forcing a tactical showdown. The truck crashed, revealing hidden compartments filled with compressed white powder, unregistered guns, and a partially disassembled grenade launcher. Evidence confirmed the cartel was now preparing for armed conflict. Phones traced to aliases like Omar the mechanic linked operations back to Culiacan, Sinaloa, indicating Mexican command directly controlled Georgia operations. Meanwhile, cyber teams blocked 7 online wallets containing nearly $1 million, striking the cartel financially without physical confrontation. Yet threats remained. Drones, designed to carry sensitive documents, were seen over storage facilities, disappearing before interception. The battlefield had evolved into both physical and digital realms. Operation Take Back America was underway. By sunrise in Jackson County, warehouses had transformed into command centers with digital screens confirming target zone secured, blending relief with the understanding that the war was far from over. Operation Take Back America, the largest strike on domestic cartel activity, achieved what many believed impossible. A sprawling network across the U.S. had been dismantled. Yet, instead of celebration, the atmosphere was solemn. Everyone understood the gravity of their victory. Rows of tables displayed seized evidence, kilos of hard substances, gold bars, meticulously measured fentanyl, and counterfeit pills. Every item represented lives saved on Georgia's streets. A commander surveyed the evidence, noting 12 rifles, 14 handguns, and a missing grenade launcher. He reflected that if these weapons had been deployed, the scene would have been catastrophic. In Washington, officials praised the operation as a model of interagency cooperation. On the ground, agents knew the fight was far from over, cartel leaders had vanished, and digital accounts remained active, capable of reviving operations instantly. At a press conference, the U.S. attorney spoke of unity and determination, while confiscated weapons reminded the public of the threat neutralized. Families nearby felt unease, realizing the enemy had lived among them. Despite the temporary victory, the shadow of the cartel lingered. 17 arrests, including the notorious leader Coito, halted fentanyl flow, but the threat persisted. A rugged hard drive from Coito's site revealed fragmented but critical intelligence. Near midnight, a message appeared, Phase 3, new routes ready. It was clear, the war was ongoing, the organization adapting, and operatives remained vigilant. The message sent chills through law enforcement. In this battle, peace was temporary, always punctuated by high-stakes action. The cartel, long feared and operating across borders, faced something stronger than intimidation in Georgia: precision, unity, and determination of U.S. law enforcement. Operation Take Back America slowly dismantled what seemed invincible. The operation exposed the network, tracked movements, and captured leaders. The empire that thrived on fear became a cautionary tale. Evidence from warehouses and safehouses, documents, ledgers, encrypted devices, untraceable cash, told the story of greed and corruption. Those who once benefited from chaos were arrested. Hierarchies were broken. The operation was not only about arrests or seizures but about demonstrating that integrity and coordinated law enforcement can dismantle even the most entrenched criminal empires. The cartel had operated like a military force, armed, organized, laundering profits, and intimidating communities. U.S. agencies responded with equal strategy and precision. The FBI executed shadow-like operations, Homeland Security tracked international money flows, the DEA followed drug routes from small towns to global hubs, and local task forces united seamlessly. Success came from coordination, intelligence, and resolve. Each agent, officer, and analyst dedicated themselves to protecting American streets. The cartel's efforts to instill fear and operate in anonymity were exposed and dismantled layer by layer. The cartel could not operate in secrecy. Take Back America showed modern warfare had shifted from tanks and armies to technology, coordination, and intelligence. Agents on the ground and analysts behind screens worked in perfect unity. While the operation focused on one cartel, it symbolized resilience, unity, and the nation's ability to confront threats. The success in Georgia sent a message: America's defenders adapt, conquer, and safeguard citizens. Yet, the conflict continues covertly. Similar groups still operate globally, testing new methods of infiltration. Vigilance remains the key to safety.